And welcome to Sam's 10-Minute Tuesdays. I'm of course your host, my co-host, and partner in crime, Mr. Joe Templin. How are you, Joe?
Mickey, it's good to see you, my friend. Glad that you're feeling better from your travails, which we'll talk about in a moment.
Yes, thank you very much. It's the whole COVID thing was it was a blessing in disguise in a lot of ways. I had hit the reset button that I didn't know how to find before. I was forced to do it, but a lot of good things came out of it. And one of the things we'll be talking about today, but I appreciate your thoughts and prayers and everyone's thoughts and prayers as I continue to recover, because you don't just walk out, COVID free and then, start jumping rope. It takes a while to get back, which I have a little hard time accepting that, but it's the three things. It's lungs, legs, and strength. If I thought that I was 100%, all I had to do was get on a bike the other day, and I was embarrassed. I think a kid on a trail. It was around the time that a kid passed me with training wheels that I realized it. So, but
hey, you gotta take it slow coming back, man. Gotta remember we love you, and that's why I want to talk about today a little bit is love, because I wrote a blog post about this for the Intro Machine, but something that's been on my mind a lot recently, and loving what you do. And what we do as financial services providers and people who work in that space or helping others provide financial services is really all about love. I mean, if you had good, strong parents like we did, my mom, the former nun, smacked me in the back of the head and teach you that you are put on this earth to help other people. If you believe in living a life of service, then there's only a certain number of fields that make sense for you. And if you have the capacity to listen and to teach, and that's the core of what we do, is listen to what our clients want and teach them about how to get it, then financial services is the greatest field possible for people who have that sort of mindset and that skill set. And if you're going to learn and teach, if you're going to help people because you love what you do and you love other individuals, then you have a God-given responsibility to do as much of it as you can to maximize your performance and reach out and help as many families take care of what they need to send their kids to school and take care of their businesses and their relationships, to do the right things, because that is literally multiplying love here on earth. And, I know that you had some thoughts around that during your sabbatical. I'd love to hear them.
Yes, that's what I'm calling it, my sabbatical. But it's funny, we talk about that. First person I thought of was Joe Jordan and living a life of significance. And that it's so appropriate in this industry. When you're in the financial services insurance industry, you're living a life of significance because you're showing your love to your clients by providing them great services, and it's just that kind of career. And it still is the only career I know of, Joe, or Joey, because I get to call you, that give so unconditionally to each other. It doesn't. I've never seen another industry that shares best practices and sales tips with your competitors, whether down the street, down a couple floors, or even down the hall, because we look at things from a position of abundance and service. So, but relative to the subject at hand, performance management is about love and enjoying your day. That was one of my realizations from the hospital bed. Now, I didn't think about work from the hospital bed much. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I spent 90% of my time thinking about Jesus, frankly, and then reading, studying, watching videos, and someone said, "Yeah, no wonder, because you almost met him." and I said, "No, I don't know why. I just did," and I used that time at my sabbatical to do that. But at the end, at one of my final days in the hospital, I came to a realization, and that activity management and performance management in general is really about love. And I know that's kind of what you were teeing off on. But It's about four things. It's about loving yourself to become your very best, because that's what performance management does. It holds you accountable. You measure and monitor what matters most. You're looking to grow. You're going to be happy when you're growing anyway. So if you want to be happy, grow and use, measure and monitor your own performance on a regular basis. The second is the love for our Creator. I believe that Jesus gave me talents that I had to grow. And I once heard, I think it was Rick Warren, that said that when you get to the pearly gates, he'll ask you two questions. The guy will ask you two questions. What have you done with my talents? And what have you done with my son? I always thought that was pretty poignant. But it's, what have you done with your talents? Are you really developing the talents that you get? And if you want to search for those, the great book by Fred Sievert now about building a career of consequence. It helps you help you identify your own God-given talents. The third is love for family, for whom that you strive to provide. So you want to become your best and do your best and measure your performance because you love your family. And plain and simple, you love your family enough to do your best and become the best you. And the fourth, you really hit the nail out the ball out of the field, court, base. I'm still a little foggy. Love for your clients, for whom you strive to serve to the best of your ability. Because the only way you can become your best is to measure and monitor your performance. And that's what activity management does and performance management does in general, doesn't it?
You know what? Those are some great themes and concepts, because as Arnold Schwarzenegger said, if you love what you do, it's not work. It's not pain that you go through. I mean, he talked about the fact that he loved the entire process of building his body and becoming a champion when everybody else was making faces and, looked like they were in pain and all this. And he just absolutely loved doing what he was doing. He loved the process and he loved the results. And activity management is basically putting parameters around that so that you can do it better. Because I don't know about you, Mickey, but the way that I was raised is that if you're not going to give your best, if you're not going to do your best, if you're not willing to become your best, then you're just playing around. And it goes back to the difference between an amateur and a professional.
Right.
Amateurs do it because they enjoy it. They love it. The root there is ammo, to love. Professionals do it because it is what they do for a living. It's what they get compensated for, and they need to become experts. And the true best part of the Venn diagram is where amateur and professional overlaps, where you're doing it, you're getting paid for it, but you love what you do. So it's not really work. And that allows you to be able to do it harder, longer, stronger, better. Your entire spirit, your entire being pours into what you're doing and how you're doing it. And so it is a reflection of your self-love and your love for, God, providence, the universe, however, our clients want to, parameterize it. But it's a combination of those two loves that you are then using in a very specific basis to be able to turn around and help those individuals with what they care about.
And before you close this puppy, I want to add one more thing. And that is that Fred Sievert helped clarify my second realization with a quote from his book, where he quoted Matthew 16:27. He said, "God will hold you accountable for fruit produced from your giftedness, from the gifts he gives you." That is classic.
This is God's tool, sales activity management, because remember, sales is an activity game, and introductions let you win that game every single day. Love you, buddy.
God bless you. God bless our listeners. And we'll talk to you next week.